Hey everybody, Danielle Sullivan from Neurodivergent here. Do you know about the burnout cycle? Do you know what it actually means when people are talking about the burnout cycle? Today, I'm going to just take a couple minutes. I'm going to explain to you the burnout cycle, why it's important to understand it, and I'm going to give you a secret to get it kicked out of your life. Basically for good, so that you can like stop losing all your energy to this thing. So the burnout cycle is something that affects everybody, including neurotypical folks, as well as obviously neurodivergent people, including folks who are smart, capable, hardworking, and already spending all of your emotional labor trying to get our lives to run smoothly. And it's the cause of this cycle that is the real problem. So the cycle goes like this: you push, you burn out, you collapse, you fall over and don't get anything done for 3, 6 months, a year, whatever. And then you shame yourself into kicking back into gear. You resolve some problems, you do a push again, and you kick yourself right back into burnout, right? It's an effortful cycle. It involves a lot of pushing and shaming and pushing and shaming, and it's not easeful. It doesn't just move with you, it's not aligned, okay? So, this is the burnout cycle. I'm going to explain it a little bit more. So, an example that I got from one of my clients is you start the day, you wake up, you're like determined. You're like, today I'm going to be consistent. So, you pick a productivity tool that you think is like the perfect one, and you write the list, and you make the meal plan, and you calendar, and you tell yourself you're going to stick to it no matter what. And for a while, you do. And that while might be the day, the week, the month, the year, even, right? But the whole time, in order to stick to it, you are pushing. You are pushing through brain fog. You are pushing through sensory overwhelm. You are ignoring your physical body signals and cues. You are swallowing anxiety. You are white knuckling your way through the tasks that you have to do today. And maybe you're actually getting a ton done. And this is what confuses people about the burnout cycle, because neurodivergent folks are often incredibly high capacity when adrenaline and dopamine are running the show. But then, inevitably, the crash hits. And that again can happen in an hour, a day, or a year. You wake up the next day or the next hour, and it's like someone unplugged you from the wall, and your brain won't turn on, and your body just won't do anything. And everything is so loud and so heavy and so much, and you can't force yourself forward, even if you wanted to, in that situation. And then at some point, the shame kicks in, the blame kicks in. You blame yourself. Maybe other people blame you. And here is the assumption that makes me crazy. Everybody at this point assumes that the problem is an executive function problem. So we assume that we need to try harder and plan better and be more disciplined, right? So what do? We re enter the burnout cycle. We start pushing ourselves again, and we push and we push and we push until we burn out and collapse. And then we shame ourselves into negative energy and we push again. This is so frustrating to me and to everybody else. I'm like, to you, right? To people going through this, because you're just trying to live your life. But what gets me riled up is that when I talk to people about this, people always think that the root cause is executive dysfunction. And here is the secret thing that I want you to take away from this: the thing that no productivity expert will ever tell you. This is not a freaking executive function problem. This is a systemic expectation problem. This is internalized ableism at work. Okay. Neurodivergent people, sure, often experience executive dysfunction. That is real. I'm here with you. Everyone who knows me knows this, right? But executive function challenges don't create shame. They don't create urgency. They don't create the belief that you should be able to push yourself into doing something that you physically and neurologically can't sustain. That's not executive dysfunction. That is internalized ableism. Okay? So, can I give you just a little bit more? Hang in with me for one more minute. Some examples of internalized ableism. You weren't taught to work with your brain, you were taught to compete with normal. So, that means that you equate worth with performance. You think that good means like sitting still and working steadily and not needing breaks. And you're trying to meet standards that were never built for you. They weren't built for who you are. That's not executive dysfunction. That's conditioning. That's conditioning you've experienced your entire life. Okay. How about this? You push yourself until you break because you've learned that rest is a weakness. Okay. We all know we're supposed to rest, but we push and we push instead. And instead of resting early, you rest only when you physically can't continue. That's not executive dysfunction. That's internalized pressure. That's ableism, internalized ableism again. Okay. How about this one? You frame your needs as problems, not data about your nervous system. So you treat sensory overload and fatigue and emotional intensity as glitches that you need to get rid of. But they're actually signals that something needs to change, right? That is not executive dysfunction. That's survival mode created by ableism. Okay. And one more. If you think that the fix for all of this is more structure, more calendars, more notebooks, more journaling, more timers, okay? The real fix is less shame. Structure can totally help. I'm an executive function coach. I love structure, right? But structure that is built on self-judgment collapses so fast. It's not executive dysfunction that causes that. It's identity level misalignment caused by internalized ableism. So, what I want you to take away, my friends, is executive function is a real thing. Executive dysfunction, also a real thing. And it might be the root of some of the problems you're facing, right? I'm not here telling you that everything is one thing. It's not. Human brains are complex. But ableism is in the soil, feeding you the blame for a system that you were never meant to operate inside cleanly. Okay. And once you really understand that in your bones, you get to stop trying to change yourself from like a cactus to a daisy or vice versa and start reconditioning the soil instead, rooting out that internalized ableism and working from a place of abundance and growth and capacity. Okay. And that's where that movement begins. So I really want you to hear this part. You do not have to start from scratch. You have already done so much work. You are self-aware, reflective, capable humans. You do not need fixing. You need a new framework, and you're ready for that. Okay? So if you liked this video and you're thinking like, hey, this is exactly what I've been trying to solve, then please DM me, reply to me about a program that I'm designing to give you this exact framework, and we're starting on January 12th. And also, if you like this, just let me know. If this was helpful, should I do more of these? Let me know. I hope to hear from you. Take care of yourself.